Hello and welcome to another Casatech product orientation video. Today we're going to be looking at our RGB controller. The 2.4 GHz remote for the controller, and as an optional extra a Wi-Fi enabled controller as well, which connects via an app on your smartphone to control your strips. The app is available for both Android and iOS devices. The Android app is available via our server, and the app for the iOS devices is available via iTunes in the normal way. So if we look on the back of here, you'll see there are some screw terminals. These connect the wires for the RGB strip. On the other side you have screw terminals for your 12-volt connection or a standard barrel connector. So it gives you various options for connecting. You just plug it into your strip and into the mains like that. And it will always remember, when you switch it on, it will always remember the last setting that you had it on. So on the remote you have off, on, you have a colour wheel for changing, and then the M stands for mode. There are over 20 different modes. Each mode can be fine-tuned either via a brightness setting or a speed setting. So here we've got a colour change mode, and we can change the speed at how this happens. As you can see, it's speeding up. And then we can just slow that down, so the change happens over a longer period. As you can see, it's gradually changing colour. You also have brightness. The brightness tends to only work on the static colours. There are a few colour change modes it will work on, and these are explained in greater detail in the instruction manual that comes with the setup. So there's the brightness. As you can see, it's there, off, on, change the colour, off, on. One controller can accept up to 4 different remotes, but one remote can control any number of RGB controllers. And the same also goes for the Wi-Fi controller. You can connect up to 4 of these to one of those, or one of these can control any number of these. So it depends. You can have one per controller, or you can have several. It's up to you. So what do you get when you order, when you have this? Well, you get the Wi-Fi controller. You get a USB lead, which has a micro connector at one end. It's very similar to the connections you get on most mobile phones these days, and the standard USB port at the other end. This you can either plug into your computer, a powered USB hub, or in our case, a mobile phone charger, like so. Plugs into here, like that, and then you then plug it into the mains. Once it's plugged into the mains, you need to access the app. Once you've accessed the app, you'll see that it's almost identical to the remote. You've got an off, you have an on. Oh, there we go. You can control the colour, like that, and then also you've got your mode. And then you've got your speed function. As you can see, we've sped it up. We can slow it down. So it's a very slow change. You still have the same number of modes, because that's all controlled in the RGB controller itself rather than the app. You've got your brightness setting, just like on the remote. and then say we go to blue, you go off, come back, switch it on here, remembers that it's blue. You can switch it off on there, switch it back on here, and you can see it's still blue. So it will remember the last setting. The controller itself is a common anode connection. So most strips these days tend to be common anode anyway, but it's worth bearing in mind because some of the cheaper strips you find on eBay are common cathode, which won't work. Thank you for watching. This has been a Casatech product orientation video for our RGB 2.4 GHz RF controller and Wi-Fi enabled controller with smartphone apps. Thank you and goodbye.